The world-defying stage Heavenly Sect and the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain were originally very contradictory to each other. Now, they were actually working together for some Myriad Tao treasure, which made Xianxia very surprised. What is the Myriad Tao's treasure? Xianxia asked anxiously. Although he was not sure, but he was sure that it would be an entire gu, or Myriad Tao Divine Mountain would not accept world-defying stage Heavenly Sect's invitation. It could be seen that Myriad Tao Divine Mountain valued this place greatly, and could even temporarily put down their grudges and discuss about it. It's a treasure bred by the Myriad Tao. As for what it is, I'm not too sure. In short, it must be very powerful. My guess should be able to help people cultivate the primordial divine body, or maybe it could allow people to break through the limitations of the Myriad Tao's laws, surpass the primordial divine body realm, and transcend the Myriad Tao. Luo Tianjun said, "If you are interested, I can let you know when the time comes and you can also sneak in." Okay. About what time? Of course, Xianxia was interested. He anxiously asked about the time. If he wanted to go, he had to make sufficient preparations. At the very least, he had to be strong enough, and when that time came, the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain and the world-defying stage Heavenly Sect would definitely be filled with experts. There are still a few more months before the world-defying stage Heavenly Sect will notify us. Luo Tianjun said, "I will continue to pay attention to the movements of the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain. You just need to come here once in a while to contact me." Dao Father, is the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain in the sea? Xianxia did not see any mountains here. It was only the sea. The divine wasteland that is at the bottom of the sea is extremely secretive. The world-defying stage Heavenly Sect is in the sky, but the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain is actually hiding in the depths of the ocean. Luo Tianjun laughed. "If you want to see, then just dive down." Myriad Tao Divine Mountain is extremely confident in their defense. "I believe that if you go any closer, you won't be discovered by Myriad Tao Divine Mountain." "I'm not going. I'm not interested." After Xianxia left the ocean, he came to a relatively bustling city within the Divine Wasteland. There had been a large change within the Divine Wasteland. Previously, this place was ruled by a few divine sects, but now it had become a place where world-defying stage Heavenly Sect and the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain took over, and those divine sects no longer existed. The world-defying stage Heavenly Sect and the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain were both about the same strength, and they seemed to have grasped a method to allow people to quickly enter the world-defying stage, so it attracted many people to join them, and entering these two superpowers required going through a cruel competition. Even if they entered, they would still have to continue competing, otherwise they would only be eliminated. Under such a cruel environment, the person who could climb to the highest point must be a ruthless person. People in these cities are really slow. Xianxia strolled around, but didn't meet any strong humans. He finally found two venerable ancestor later stages. They were actually from the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain. As Xianxia wandered around the city for a longer time, he realized that there were more people from the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain. Although they were all from the venerable ancestor realm, their numbers were not normal. What do they seem to be looking for? Following two of the middle-aged men, Xianxia finally realized that they were knocking on the door of a house and asking about some things. Xianxia eavesdropped and found out that the people of the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain were asking for news about a big fireball. However, the people in the house did not know about it. The targets these guys are inquiring about are all of relatively high status. Xianxia followed them and realized that the people from the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain were knocking on the doors of the mansion. Because they were very strong, they only released a little bit of qi, but the other side would answer whenever they were asked. Xianxia continued to follow them. He found a strange place. These people did not reveal that they were from the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain. If it was not for the fact that Xianxia could feel the aura of the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain from their bodies, he would not know that these people came from the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain. Strange. Why didn't they reveal their identities? Instead, you are releasing your aura to frighten others so that others can answer their questions? Xianxia pondered. Could it be that they're doing all this to keep it a secret? Xianxia did not continue to follow him. He was very curious about what the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain was asking about. A month ago, a large fireball had landed near the city, but that large fireball had disappeared, and it had not left any traces in the vicinity. In order to find out where the big fireball had gone, these people came to inquire about it. Xianxia released many Mouseman-s. He had some Mouseman-s inquire on the streets. There were a few thousand of them in total. He felt that they would benefit from this, although there were many people in the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain. There were only about 100 of them, which was far from his level. More than 2 hours later, Xianxia did not manage to find out anything about the mysterious giant fireball. But he did find out that the people of world-defying stage Heavenly Sect were here asking about it. Could this be related to some Myriad Tao treasure? Xianxia couldn't help but remember Luo Tianjun telling him about the Myriad Tao's treasure today. At night, the city became much quieter. One of Xianxia's mousemen came to the region outside of the city and suddenly heard a child speaking to a few others. The little boy said proudly, "Last night, when I woke up and peed in the middle of the night, I saw a huge sun setting from the sky through the window. Tonight, I will continue to stand guard here. I might even be able to see it." After Xianxia heard this, he immediately focused his attention on the mouse man and let the mouse man walk past. Bullshit. Why is there a sun at night? And why is it falling? Exactly. Boasting is not a good child. We won't play with you anymore. The other young boys did not believe his words. After a few taunts, they ran off to play. The boy was also very upset. After the mouse man walked over, he asked with a smile, "Where did the sun fall from? You believe me?" The little boy was very excited. "Yes." Mouseman nodded his head. "Because I know about this, it's just a pity that I don't have the intention. Can you tell me what happened?" "N." The little boy nodded and told Mouseman what he saw last night. After Xianxia finished listening, he already knew the direction in which the large fireball was falling. Moreover, it was falling at a very fast speed. As the little boy was located in a remote part of the city, he could see a burst of white light after the large fireball landed on the ground. Then it disappeared. Xianxia grasped the important information. The large fireball fell very quickly, but it did not hit the ground, so there was no movement. There was also the large fireball that was about to hit the ground, but it suddenly flashed with a white light and disappeared. It must have become something. Just what is this thing? Xianxia was extremely curious, and he ran towards a direction. He wanted to go there and see if there really were any traces. Xianxia flew in that direction, keeping an eye out for his surroundings. Deep in the night, the sky was covered with thick clouds, and the starlight was obscured. The world was shrouded in darkness, and it was difficult to see anything. But Xianxia had the Dao Heart Eye, so the Dao Heart Eye could see many things that it could not. He used the Dao Heart Eye to check and quickly found something. He saw a purplish-red energy floating between the heavens and the earth, forming a vortex that constantly swirled around. It looked like a purplish-red gaping mouth. However, these energies do not have any aura, and they are extremely rare. Difficult. After Xianxia observed carefully, he realized that there was a long tail from the whirlpool that connected the sky to it. It should have fallen down from above, and when it fell down, it suddenly exploded when it was about to hit the ground, forming a purple-red whirlpool. It became white in the end? Xianxia carefully observed the purplish-red vortex of energy, and discovered that an extremely small white light thread had extended out from inside, dragging out a long path as it floated towards the distant mountain forest. That child's fiery red turned white. Is that it? Xianxia immediately followed the white light and flew towards the forest far away. What could it be? Xianxia was full of suspicions as he quickly flew towards the forest. Along the way, there were many white threads of light because there were no signs of energy left behind by the hidden presences. However, it was generally difficult to sense such weak auras, and only Xianxia could see them. Xianxia entered the mountain forest and noticed that the white light threads were becoming even smaller. Could it be that this fellow did not adjust when he landed and instead left a weak aura behind? And now that he has gradually adjusted it, he can conceal his aura even better? Is this thing alive? Xianxia had thought that it was some kind of Myriad Tao treasure, but he never thought that it was actually a living being, and possessed extremely high intelligence as well. He discovered that the white light thread was moving around in circles in the forest, as if it was intentionally leaving a trail to get rid of the person who wanted to end him. Daybreak had arrived. The sky was still overcast, giving off a depressing feeling. Xianxia was still in the forest following the white light to track that mysterious object. He had even used the counterpower to hide himself. If his final treasure was too powerful, then he might be in great danger. My invisibility right now should be very reliable. After all, I'm already in world-defying stage, so it won't be that easy to see through me. Unknowingly, Xianxia had already entered the depths of the forest. However, just when he felt that his invisibility spell was extremely brilliant, he suddenly felt that something wasn't right. He looked around and discovered that a white light had suddenly appeared and gradually grew in size. Upon closer inspection, he discovered that these white rays of light surrounded him in an orderly fashion. Some of them fell to the ground while some stayed in the air. They were actually extremely profound spirit grain. And at this time he was in a large array. He had been brought here by that mysterious white light. This is bad. After realizing that something was wrong, he immediately teleported outside of the Great Formation. The instant he teleported out, the place he was at earlier suddenly trembled. Although there weren't any attacks, he could tell that it was a seal with a strong sealing power. So dangerous. What the hell is this thing? It actually has such a powerful setting up of formations? Xianxia looked around and shouted, I have no ill intentions, I am just curious. Humph, you actually destroyed the formation that he painstakingly set up. Why did you come here without any bad intentions? You came here with some bad intentions. You owe me my seals, my seals. Suddenly, the girl's tender and soft voice came out, making Xianxia a little dazed. What kind of help do you need? Maybe I can help you. Xianxia asked again. Oh right, where are you? Even you are acting so sneakily. You first show yourself, then I'll show myself. The girl's voice rang out. Xianxia had no choice but to show himself, and then said, All right, it's your turn. Don't lie, a liar is a bad child. You're the bad one. Furthermore, what made Xianxia astonished was that the white light carried an extremely mysterious power. That kind of power seemed to be able to ignore all power, and he felt that if he were to use the time and space power to imprison himself, it would be completely useless. The little girl appeared, wearing a set of green clothes that looked like they were 5 or 6 years old. Her 2 long ponytails hung down from her front, reaching all the way to her waist. Her face was round and cute. She was floating in the air, and on her back was a pair of transparent wings that looked like a butterfly. These wings were a lot larger than its body. It turned out to be a very cute and magical little elf. You have to compensate me with a formation. I am the one who used it to seal bad people. The girl shouted again. It took me a lot of effort to get it out. If I were to rearrange it, I'd have to work for an entire night. You were able to create such a powerful formation in one night. Truly amazing. Xianxia could not help but exclaim. It's not that powerful. Took a whole night to get it done. The girl couldn't stand the praise any longer and immediately replied modestly. I'm sorry, I just found something strange and followed it all the way here. It was all my curiosity that caused you so much trouble. I'm sorry. Xianxia also very much blamed himself as he apologized. Forget it. Since it has already come to this, you can just apologize. The girl actually accepted Xianxia's apology, and her attitude towards him was much better. She flapped her large, transparent butterfly wings and said, Can you really help me? Your strength seems to only be mediocre. You haven't managed to cultivate world-defying holy body. My true strength is not something that can be seen directly. Xianxia laughed. Many of those who look down on me have suffered greatly. What kind of losses did you suffer? The girl asked curiously. Ugh. They all fell asleep forever. Xianxia scratched his head and laughed. Oh! The girl seemed to understand a little. And then, with her cute eyes, she said, I am Feng Kuer, the seal's seal. Feng Kuer? This name is just like yours. It's very special. Xianxia smiled. I am Xianxia. Xianxia was extremely curious about Feng Kuer's background. World-defying stage, heavenly sect and myriad Tao divine mountain seemed to know that she would be here, and even sent a large amount of people to chase after her. Oh right, there are 2 groups of people looking for you. Why are they looking for you? Xianxia asked. Eh? You know they're looking for me? Are you with them? Feng Kuo immediately retreated back as he looked at Xianxia with vigilance. Of course I'm not in the same group as them. I do have a bit of a grudge against them. I know what precious things they have long ago. So I tried to see if I could find it in front of them. Xianxia said. Feng Kuo crossed her arms in front of her chest as she looked at Xianxia suspiciously, as if she couldn't really believe Xianxia's words. Although she looked simple, she still knew how to think. Earlier, you said that you were curious and came in because you discovered something. From what you said just now, you seem to have a purpose in coming in. Something's not right with you. Feng Kuo said. Maybe I didn't understand. Xianxia was startled and said, Fine, since you do not have any malicious intent, otherwise, I would have sealed you a long time ago. My sealing power is extremely powerful. Feng Kuo laughed angrily. Oh right, what enmity do you have with those fellows? Xianxia never thought that Feng Kuo would change his plans so quickly. He was suspicious and vigilant, yet in the blink of an eye, he had become so relaxed. They wanted my things. Since I refused to give them mine, they came to snatch it away. I killed their people, so I ended up forming a hatred with them. Xianxia spread out his hands and said helplessly, I don't feel like making enemies out of them, but they relied on their immense power and wanted to take my things for themselves. That's why I resisted. Feng Kuo hurriedly nodded his head. That's what these people are like. They caught me to get something. I won't let them succeed. What do the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain and the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain want? From this, it could be seen that this thing was extremely precious, and Xianxia couldn't help but think of the Myriad Tao's treasure. Feng Kuo herself was already extremely mysterious, and did not look like a simple living being. She was even well versed in sealing, knew about all sorts of powerful formations, and from her name one could tell that she was related in that aspect. What do they want? Xianxia asked quickly. The precious treasure of the Myriad Tao. Feng Kuo directly said it out loud, making him want to cover her mouth with his hands. For such an important thing, she was actually shouting loudly. Shoo! Xianxia said in a low voice. Myriad Tao's treasures are extremely precious. It's not good for you to speak about it so loudly. I know, but I'm not afraid. Feng Kuo floated in the air, holding her waist with both hands. Looking at her proud and complacent look, Xianxia could only sigh. I never thought that the Myriad Tao treasure they wanted to obtain would actually be related to you. Xianxia said. I had heard earlier that world-defying stage Heavenly Sect and Myriad Tao Divine Mountain were going to discuss this matter together. Xianxia had indeed not expected him to get involved in this matter so quickly. He had thought that he would have to wait a few months to see more. But now, he had come into contact with the matter of the Myriad Tao's treasure so early. It's not that easy to obtain the Myriad Tao's treasures. Although the Myriad Tao's treasures are in the hands of the world-defying stage Heavenly Sect, they are unable to use them, and even unable to open them. Feng Kuo said, Without me, the Myriad Tao's treasure is just a piece of trash. Why can only you use it? Xianxia asked again. Because I am Feng Kuo. Originally, the Myriad Tao's treasure was sealed away, and I am the sealing great formation that seals it away. However, because of how much time has passed, I managed to cultivate it to its essence. Feng Kuo pouted her small mouth, looking extremely cute. She humphed and said, God knows when I was sleeping, I was suddenly pushed down by a force and fell down to this damned place from above Myriad Tao. Xianxia looked at this seal that had cultivated to the exquisite realm. His face was filled with astonishment. It was his first time seeing a seal or formation that had cultivated to the essence realm. Feng Kuo was truly powerful. Just a moment ago, if Xianxia was slightly slower, she would have sealed him with the formation. Did it fall from Myriad Tao? That Myriad Tao treasure was created by someone else? Xianxia knew that there were some strong warriors above Myriad Tao, such as the Myriad Tao Dan God. I also feel that it's very strange. Who exactly took down the Myriad Tao's treasure from above? Feng Kuo frowned. Her face was filled with thought. Then what is the appearance of the myriad Tao's treasure? Is it a divine tool? Xianxia felt that Fengkuo would definitely know about it. He, who was extremely curious about the myriad Tao's treasure, would definitely want to ask. No, it's just a lump of mud. But it's a treasure. That lump of mud can be used to refine the powerful myriad Tao divine weapon. Or perhaps you could turn the divine weapon that you originally possessed into a myriad Tao divine weapon. Fengkuo laughed in a low voice. Do you want to? This is a good thing, of course I want to, but it seems like I won't be able to get it. It should be in world-defying stage heavenly sect I cannot enter. Xianxia said. It's in the world-defying stage heavenly sect, but it's sealed inside a big rock. Only I know where he'll run off to, and only I can get it. Do you need my help to get it? Fengkuo said. Xianxia felt that things were not so simple. Fengkuo had only just met him, and he already said that he would help him obtain the myriad Tao's treasure. Is this true? Xianxia was in disbelief. Of course it's true, but there are conditions. Fengkuo said, after you obtain the myriad Tao's treasure, you must help me find something here. That thing is extremely useful to me. What is it? Xianxia could not think of anything that could make the little demon girl, who came from above myriad Tao, pay so much attention. I'm looking for an indestructible stone. Fengkuo giggled, then took out a golden needle and said, as long as this needle can't be inserted into it, it's indestructible. Is this golden needle really that powerful? No matter how Xianxia looked at it, this golden needle was ordinary. He took out a blade which could be considered a strong godly weapon. Fine, I'll give it a try. Fengkuo lightly pricked the blade with his golden needle, and it actually went through the blade in an instant. Seeing this, Xianxia was shocked. That golden needle was too terrifying. Even though he was using the full force of the heavenly magic sword, he could barely get the blade in, but the golden needle was pierced through easily. That blade could be considered to be broken, but fortunately, he did not lack this kind of thing. I don't believe it. Xianxia said, did you use some sort of power? If you don't believe me, you can give it a try yourself. Fengkuo gave the golden needle to Xianxia. After Xianxia received it, he immediately stabbed it into the blade. It was as easy as stabbing tofu. In an instant he pierced it, and then he stabbed more than 10 needles back and forth, easily piercing through the blade. This thing is really powerful. Xianxia did not dare to go prick his Tianquang furnace, because if it was broken, then he would be in deep trouble. Of course, although this thing is small, it is also very precious. After Fengkuo received it, he said, can you help me find an indestructible stone? If you promise to help me find it, then I promise to help you get the myriad Tao's treasure. I promise. But I can't guarantee that I'll find it. Xianxia said. He felt that he could ask Xianxia and the others about this. Maybe they would know some way to find this stone. The golden needles in Fengkuo's hands were so powerful that it made Xianxia want to obtain more of these ingredients. Ku'er, where did you get this golden needle? Is there anything else? Xianxia asked. There's no more. There's only this one in the entire myriad Tao. It's very hard to find any more. It's something that I have spent many years of hard work to refine. Fengkuo said proudly. Am I very powerful? You actually know how to refine this kind of thing. Xianxia did not expect that Fengkuo had actually refined it himself. Of course, it's very boring to guard that myriad Tao treasure all day. I have to find something to do. Okay? And I knew how to forge artifacts. Fengkuo flapped his wings a few times and said, the wings on my back were also refined by me. Is it nice to watch? Good. Xianxia laughed. This Fengkuo was a seal set up by someone else. Because after experiencing many years, this seal slowly produced a spirit, and then after many years of cultivation, the spirit finally became spirit. Moreover, she definitely knew some refining methods. After all, the person who placed the seal on her knew how to forge artifacts. Who knows? Do you have anything powerful? I can stay in there. Fengkuo said. Yes, I just don't know if you like it. Xianxia took out his 6 realms mirrors. When Fengkuo saw it, her cute little eyes immediately lit up, and she rushed in. This is really a good place. It's just that the formation here is too weak. I'll help you change it. Feng Kur said. Anyway, I have nothing to do now. The Six Realms mirror could record multiple great formations, and these great formations were all extremely powerful, but in Feng Kur's eyes they were too weak. After Xianxia sighed in his heart, he was also very happy, because Feng Kur could help him improve his Six Realms mirrors even more, and increase his strength. Felt that this little demon girl would definitely make Xianxia and the others fall for her. At this moment, he wondered if he could bring this little demon girl to the Hundreds of Flowers village in the future. Now you are going to the world-defying stage Heavenly Sect. Once you are outside, I will see if I can sense that large rock. If I can sense it, I will let the big rock run out and you can go get it. Feng Kur said, be careful on the road. Those guys might have other ways to find me. Xianxia, on the other hand, was not afraid. He could dodge using the time and space power, but even now, the world-defying stage Heavenly Sect and the others did not know that he was able to use the time and space power. All right. Xianxia had already rushed to world-defying stage Heavenly Sect. The world-defying stage Heavenly Sect was located in a place that was covered in dense clouds all year round, just above the clouds. At this time, he was already here, but he did not go up. Shao Kur. I'm already at the bottom of world-defying stage Heavenly Sect. Xianxia said, didn't you say that you could let that boulder escape? Yes, I'll start now. Feng Kur ran out from Xianxia's Six Realms mirrors. She looked at the thick clouds in the sky and could immediately tell that the world-defying stage Heavenly Sect was there. I feel it. After Feng Kur finished speaking, she closed her beautiful transparent butterfly wings, and her petite body started to tremble. Oh no, world-defying stage Heavenly Sect will definitely know that this little girl has caused such a commotion. Xianxia's face changed. He had to prepare to take this little demon girl away anytime he wanted. Not long after Feng Kur started, Xianxia sensed an aura from below. Without saying a word, he immediately put his arms around the little girl and used the time and space power to teleport away. However, the moment he left, several white-robed old men appeared in the air. They were all original ancestresses inside the world-defying stage Heavenly Sect, so they could obviously feel the aura below. Furthermore, it made them extremely shocked. They never thought that Feng Kur would actually come here himself. Xianxia brought Feng Kur and teleported to the Myriad Tao Mausoleum with a few moves. He felt that it would be safer here, but he was still very worried. He had met one of the original ancestresses before, and it was Luo Jinhao's grandfather who had cultivated the primordial divine body. And now he saw other original ancestresses. These original ancestresses were actually all experts who had cultivated the primordial divine body. You reacted so fast. We were almost finished. Feng Kur's white and cute face was also filled with shock, and looked as if she was still in a daze from the shock. Previously, when she was in the middle of cultivating, she did not consider all these, but when she did, it was already too late, allowing Xianxia to react in time. It's good that you're safe. I thought you'd be able to complete the mission quietly. I didn't think that there would be such a big commotion. Xianxia said. I forgot. I can sense the big rock. After I sensed it, I wanted to see if I could control the big rock to leave. I wanted to try it. Feng Kur frowned and said softly, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's fine, it's safe now. I also did not expect those old original ancestresses to actually cultivate an arrogant divine body. This discovery made Xianxia even more so unable to look down on the world-defying stage Heavenly Sect. As the descendant of the strong warriors who were executed by the Myriad Tao back then, the world-defying stage Heavenly Sect still possessed a lot of power. Now I can only wait. In another month, the boulder will gather enough power. When that time comes, I only need to get close. With a thought, the boulder will escape by itself. Feng Kur said, they have so many world-defying stage gods. Will they be able to break the seal on the boulder? Xianxia was a little worried. The great stone was the treasure of the Myriad Tao. He did not wish for the world-defying stage Heavenly Sect to obtain it. Don't worry. They won't be able to break the seal. Feng Kur said with complete confidence. I understand. It's just that I don't know why they were so clear about this matter, They seemed to know of my existence, and even wanted to capture me. I want to know as well. I was planning to ask you. This was also something that Xianxia was extremely suspicious of. The fall of the Myriad Tao's most precious treasure was actually obtained by the world-defying stage Heavenly Sect. Afterwards, the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain also knew that they had sent people out to find Feng Kuo. It was clear that they were very clear about what was going to happen with the Myriad Tao's treasure. I'll let your 6 realms mirrors become stronger first. At that time, if you encounter a dangerous situation, the 6 realms mirrors can also help. Feng Kuo was very serious at this moment. She also knew that the world-defying stage S were very strong, and Xianxia wasn't their match. He still had to wait for another month, and this made Xianxia a little impatient. I have to hurry up and grow the Tianyuan Holy Body Dan's medicinal ingredients. Xianxia anxiously used the power of time to change his own time. This way, he could change 1 month into 30 months. Xianxia had used the power of time because, on one hand, he wanted to cultivate the Myriad Tao's divine arts and, most importantly, to quickly grow medicinal ingredients. In the Yuyao Mountain Villa, he had spent every single day cultivating those medicinal ingredients and hadn't had a good rest for many days. You used the power of time? Sensing the change in time, Feng Kuo anxiously asked. Previously, she had felt that Xianxia had carried a very strange power with him when he had teleported. But she was also unable to sense it at that time. Yes, Xianxia said. I am currently planting the medicinal herbs, but those medicinal herbs require a very long time to mature, and I also need to urgently use them, so I can only do this, but it is still too slow. My comprehension of the time laws is still not deep enough, and currently it can only change from a day to a month, and that friend of mine who died before me is extremely powerful, able to change from a day to a year. Do you need a lot of energy to go from 1 day to 1 month? Is there too much pressure when you use it? Feng Kuo asked again. Xianxia's heart skipped a beat. This Feng Kuo was proficient in all kinds of arrays. He definitely knew the time formation. Xianxia had always been unable to receive guidance on this matter, so the reason why Feng Kuo asked this question today was definitely so that he could receive guidance. In the past, there was a bit of pressure, but now there isn't any pressure. I am already under the world-defying stage. It was very easy for me to accomplish. Said. Before, Time Ghost was not even world-defying stages, but he could change it by a year. Then I'll teach you how to do it now. It can make the time change even more. Feng Kuo laughed. I have some experience in this area. Is that so? That's great. Quickly tell me what to do, Xianxia said. First of all, if you want to grow medicinal ingredients, you just need to use it on the plants you plant. If the power of time covers too many things, then the consumption of energy will be great due to too many people inside. Feng Kuo said. Moreover, you will also need to wait a long time by yourself. Of course, if you need more time, it's all right. I'll remember it. Xianxia planned to give it a try after a while. He only used the time formation to cover the herbs that he needed to cultivate. All right, then I'll teach you a very simple method to make you spend more time. Feng Kuo said. You can change from 1 day to 1 month now. This is equivalent to a single day becoming 30 days. Yes, Xianxia nodded. This way, your 30 days will become 30 months once again. And like this, you will be able to use those 30 months to gather a layer of the time loss power, and if you can maintain the world-defying stage divine power, then you can make a lot of layers after layers. This kind of change in time will be very terrifying. Feng Kuo said. When I set up the time formation, I used this kind of method to go along with it, and when you use the power of time, I think that it would also work. Xianxia had already fallen into deep thought. He had indeed not thought that he could do this before, but hearing Feng Kuo's words now, he felt that it should work. And this kind of method made him think of the derivation method from the Dan God mystery. The method Feng Kuo told him was similar to this, which was the time when 1 day becomes 30 days, and 30 days becomes 30 months, and 30 months becomes another. If they continued to grow, they would have endless time. The derivation method was the same. With endless derivation, one could obtain immeasurably high-quality pills. There was no limit to this. I'll give it a try now. Xianxia had used a derivation method before, so he had a clearer understanding of this. The consumption would be huge, and he was mentally prepared for this. At this time, he had already displayed the first layer of the time laws, and was now in the process of using his own time laws. Next, he attempted to use the second level of the time laws. After using it, he immediately felt his world-defying stage divine power crazily flowing, using all of it to convert the power of time. It's quite good that I can last one day. Xianxia calculated the amount of time that the world-defying stage divine power had to pass, and could feel that the transformed power of time could sustain its circulation for one day. One day was equivalent to 30 months. It was almost 3 years, and the time difference was much greater than before. Did Time Ghost also use this method before? Xianxia felt that after using it for one day, he would definitely need to rest. It's a success. Feng Kuo exclaimed, "You're really talented. Just a try and you've succeeded. When I was setting up the formation, I tried several times before succeeding." "Nothing. I have similar experience." Xianxia laughed. This was all from the experience he gained when he used the derivation method. In addition, he was extremely proficient in using the power of the time laws, which was why he was able to be so successful. "You said that you want to get medicinal herbs? Does that mean you know how to concoct pills? Amazing! You actually know so much." At this time, Feng Kuo finally realized that Xianxia had more and more good points. "I'm not as strong as you. You're already so strong when you're setting up the formation, and in your eyes it's just a piece of cake. You're so small, yet you're already so strong. I really admire you." What Xianxia said was the truth. At least he couldn't create a very strong array like Feng Kuo. Of course. After all, I am an elf who has been sealed. If I am not powerful in this aspect, I would not be able to become an elf. Feng Kuo giggled. "I'm already helping you modify your 6 realms mirrors. Your 6 realms mirrors itself is a very good natural divine tool." Xianxia felt the same way. 6 realms mirrors were divine tools that he used frequently, and they had many uses. However, facing world-defying stage, 6 realms mirrors was a little weak and would be easily shattered by the powerful world-defying stage. Thus, when facing world-defying stage, he didn't dare to use it much. "Xianxia, you seem to have quite a few divine artifacts and things like that. Can you let me take a look? Although I am also refining, but I didn't forge much. It was just a small fight, and the main thing is that I did not see much. I just came out of the seal and was only watching others refine it." Regarding this, Feng Kuo was full of curiosity. After that, Xianxia placed both his own Tianquang Furnace S into the 6 realms mirrors, and then put in a piece of the primordial divine net. This was his first time using a world-defying artifact. Just like the 6 realms mirrors, the strength of the heavenly magic sword could not keep up. There was not much problem using the Tianquang Furnace now, but Xianxia felt that if there was a chance, he would need to improve it. Although he would have to spend more time to obtain it, he would still need to pay even more world-defying stage divine power. Fortunately, he had already stepped into the world-defying stage and had enough world-defying stage divine power to use up energy. Right now, I can still use a bit of world-defying stage divine power to refine heaven and earth infinite Dan. After all, he still had 30 months worth of time, and even if he stayed inside for 30 months, it would only be a single day outside. He had a lot of heaven and earth infinite Dan-esque medicinal ingredients, and it would take a lot of time to grow them. Thus, he did not want to waste this time. He took out the pill furnace and began to refine the heaven and earth infinite Dan. Because he had a lot of time now, he did not rush to refine the pill. Soon, 30 months had passed. In about 3 years of time, he finally grew 10 batches of S refining medicine, and although there were only 10, Xianxia felt that it was pretty good. After all, he only used a day's worth of time. During this time, he had also refined more than 100 heaven and earth infinite Dan. The energy consumption is really huge. After Xianxia withdrew his dual laws of time and energy, he felt that the world-defying stage divine power in his body had almost been completely used up. "I have to rest well." Xianxia closed his eyes. He had never exhausted his own world-defying stage divine power so much before, and he didn't know how long he would need to recover it either. "If you don't concoct pills, You should be able to use the remaining world-defying stage divine power to defend yourself, Feng Kur said. The reason why Xianxia purposely slowed down his refining speed was so that he wouldn't need to consume so many world-defying stage divine powers. Otherwise, in 30 months' time, he wouldn't just be refining just 100 or so heaven and earth infinite Dan. It seems that my cultivation isn't enough. If I were to use the dual time laws while concocting pills at the same time, I would simply be unable to continue because the energy consumption is too great. Chen Xiang said. Yes, Feng Kur said. Once Chen Xiang used the power of this law of time, a large portion of the world-defying stage divine power would be used to convert the power of time into the power of time. If he stopped, the power of time would not turn into the world-defying stage divine power either, and would gradually dissipate. Therefore, once he used it, he would have to use it to the end. Otherwise, he would not be able to withdraw midway. It would be a waste. Chen Xiang made a trip back to the Dan God mysterious land and gave Yuer those 100 or so heaven and earth infinite Dan, asking her to pass them on to LV Chilian and the others to arrange. And next, he would properly refine a Tianyuan holy body Dan inside this Dan God mysterious land. This place is not bad. The person who built this space is very powerful, and the method is kind of familiar to me. Feng Kur flew out from the 6 realms mirrors S and flew around. The Dan God mysterious land was built based on various powerful formations. Feng Kur only had to close his eyes to sense to be able to find out about the formations inside. Yes, that person has already surpassed the myriad Tao. He should be above the myriad Tao. Chen Xiang said, "Oh right, you can go to Hundreds of Flowers village. There are a lot of girls in there. If you are bored, you can go take a look. There are also some beautiful women who are refining formations. You might be very interested in discussing with them." Really? Feng Kur looked at the door that led to Hundreds of Flowers village, his eyes unable to shift away. Really, go in and take a look if you don't believe me. You've been with me for so long, you should believe me as well. Chen Xiang laughed. Is the little white cat from before also inside? Feng Kur had almost ran out to tease Yuer earlier. It was just that she was a little vigilant towards other creatures. So she hadn't come out yet. Truly, after you enter, just say that you're my friend. They will definitely play with you. Chen Xiang chuckled. That little white cat is called Yuer. There's even a little white dragon or something like that in there. Then I'm going in. Feng Kur had already flapped his wings and flew towards the Hundreds of Flowers village's door. After Feng Kur entered, she met Yuer. After she told Yuer that she was Chen Xiang's friend, Yuer happily played with her, and the two of them flapped their wings as they flew around Hundreds of Flowers village, playing around everywhere happily. Very quickly, they even forgot who they were. Hiding in a quiet place in Dan God mysterious land, Chen Xiang began refining the Tianyuan holy body Dan. When Feng Kur comes back, I have to ask her. Let's see if she recognizes half-ghost old man. Chen Xiang was quite curious about this half-ghost old man. The pill formulas in his hands were all very good, and he even had medicinal ingredients. Tianyuan Holy Body Dan only required 3 types of medicinal herbs, which were 3 types of weirder grass. These grasses had a shape of a flower with a heart in the middle of a few green leaves, and in the middle of this heart, there was a tiny human-shaped grass seed. The grass seeds were very small and about the size of a bean. This was the medicine used to refine Tianyuan Holy Body Dan. The 3 types of grass were all the same, except the seeds in the middle had different shapes. Although they were all human-shaped seeds, the postures they posed were all different. This type of grass was called Heaven Man Divine Grass and had a faint fragrance. When one got close enough to smell it, the fragrance would not be very strong, which was a bit strange. Grass seeds concoct pills, and it's even 3 kinds of grass seeds. This should be the first time. Chen Xiang took off the grass seeds, looked at them carefully, and threw them into the pill furnace. Now let me see the difference between these 3 types of grass seeds. Normally, the characteristics of medicinal ingredients used for refining pills were somewhat different. There were even some that were heaven and earth in difference. They were innately repulsive, but when refined together, they could produce extremely strong medicinal effects. After Chen Xiang threw it into the furnace, he used the world-defying god fire to refine it. The process of refining the world defying Holy Dan was surprisingly smooth. He had thought that refining the world defying Holy Dan would be rather difficult, but he did not expect that it would be so easy. Just as he was feeling complacent, a strange thing suddenly happened. The medicine aura and those medicine crystal that he had just refined all turned black in an instant. They were originally gold in color, but they instantly turned black in color like medicine aura S or black in color. This is charcoal. Xianxia immediately opened the pill furnace and took out a light pinch. As expected, it turned into carbon powder and instantly turned into black charcoal. He did not know what was going on. There must be a problem. Xianxia recalled the refining process and realized that there was nothing wrong with it. Can't we use a normal method? Xianxia started to ponder, then carefully examined those medicinal ingredients that had turned into black charcoal, and even placed a bit of them into his mouth as he trembled. Pa pa pa. He quickly spit it out. It was too painful and it paralyzed his tongue. At this moment, his face was wrinkled with pain. It tastes so bad. Xianxia drank a lot of water to finally get rid of the bitter taste. Paralyze my tongue. And there is even a little ice. Why is there ice? It was obviously refined using the world-defying god fire. When Xianxia refined such a high-level pellet, he would always encounter all kinds of strange problems. These problems could make him go crazy, and he couldn't consult anyone else except himself. It's impossible to go to half-ghost old man now. This guy will not see me again. Xianxia sighed in his heart. He felt that it would definitely take a lot of time to solve this problem. Right? Let's go find Sister Feng and the others and see if they can find any problems. It was precisely the guidance Xianxia received from Xianxia and Lu Menger that allowed him to build this world bridge. He immediately headed towards the 100 Flowers village and quickly arrived at the courtyard where Feng Yujie and the rest were. The girls inside were all refining pills in their pill rooms. Not together. Xianxian. Xianxia immediately called out with a smile when he saw Wu Xianxian opening the door, then instantly came in front of her and hugged her. Little scoundrel. Wu Xianxian said softly when she saw Xianxia's burning gaze. Xianxia pulled her hand and came to the hall in the courtyard and said, "Can you call all of them here when they're free? I've encountered a problem in concocting pills, and I want to see if you guys can find out what's the problem." "Sure. I'll go get them now." Wu Qianqian nodded, then quickly left. Very quickly, Xie Xiaoyan, Su Meiyao and Feng Yujie arrived. "Where's Sister Bai Ling?" Chen Xiang asked. "She's busy," Su Meiyao scoffed. "Could it be that we can't compare to her, this little demon, in terms of intelligence?" "Of course not." Chen Xiang laughed. Luckily he was the only one here, and if he added in Hua Xiangyu, he might not be able to take it. "What kind of difficulty have you encountered?" Xie Xiaoyan asked. She was very interested in the problem Chen Xiang had encountered in refining pills. "What rank of pill did you refine?" Feng Yujie asked again. "The world-defying Holy Dan, right?" Chen Xiang took out some black-colored ashes and recounted the process of him refining them. "That's the specifics. It's very strange." Chen Xiang said, "I don't have any leads, so I came to find you and see if you can find anything. This thing is very bitter. You guys don't try it." Chen Xiang saw that Su Meiyao had just touched it with her fingertips and immediately shouted out, "How do you know if you don't try?" Su Meiyao regretted it immediately after she tried it. She had tried something very bitter before, but this was the first time she had experienced this kind of bitterness. At this point of time, her charming face had already turned as dry as a melon. Chen Xiang could not help but chuckle. After Su Meiyao finished his suffering, he saw that Chen Xiang was taking pleasure in his misfortune and immediately pinched him. "Have you tasted anything?" Chen Xiang laughed. "I've been through so much pain that I can't remember anything. What else can I taste?" Su Meiyao drank a few bottles of sweet fruit juice to make himself taste less bitter. "I've already told you, yet you still want to try it?" Chen Xiang curled his lips and said, "If you don't want to taste it, how will you know the nature of this charcoal ash?" Su Meiyao scoffed. "You're still laughing at me, you're hateful." Seeing Su Meiyao act like that, Feng Yujie and the others wanted to try, but they didn't dare to. Let's give it a try. This ash does not look simple. After all, she was already mentally prepared. In addition to the many hardships she had endured back then, she had a lot of tolerance that was very strong, so she was able to endure it. It really is bitter. Feng Yujie squinted her beautiful eyes. It is painful, but something doesn't seem right. Xie Xiaoyan was also extremely bitter, but she had discovered something. What's wrong? Chun Xiang hurriedly asked. Is it Bing Bing? No, Xie Xiaoyan said as he looked at Wu Qianqian, who was deep in thought. Feng Yujie and Su Meiyao did not realize this because they had all drunk something after tasting it, while Wu Qianqian and Xie Xiaoyan did not. The ashes contain an extremely rich energy, but this energy can't be stimulated. It seems like it hasn't completely evolved, causing it to be difficult to absorb after entering the body. Wu Qianqian said, You didn't notice because we were drinking water immediately, diluting that weak feeling, because that feeling was mixed in with the bitterness. Why can't I get it? Chun Xiang frowned. That means there's no problem. It's just that I made a mistake, so I can't completely refine the ingredients. It can't be completely refined when it's being burnt. Although it looks like it has already been refined on the surface, it can only be maintained for a short period of time. After this period of time, the energy within the medicinal ingredients will not be stimulated and they will instantly turn into ashes. Xie Xiaoyan said. Chun Xiang had used a world-defying god fire, and the fire was actually not strong enough, which surprised him a little. All right, then that means I need to strengthen my flames. Chun Xiang released a few of his world-defying god fires. His world-defying god fires were invisible, and he had seen the world-defying stage Tao Ancestor's world-defying god fires before. Although the girls here could not see Chun Xiang's world-defying god fire, they were frightened by the flame. They were all alchemists and were extremely sensitive to fire, so the moment Chun Xiang released it, they all secretly took a deep breath. Chun Xiang had taught them the world-defying god fire before, but none of them had the talent and conditions that Chun Xiang possessed. Even now, it was difficult for them to cultivate them. Even this level of flame is unable to completely refine it. It can be seen that this kind of pill is not easy to refine. After all, this is a world-defying holy Dan. Feng Yujie said. All of you better enter the world-defying stage first. Only then will it be easier for you to cultivate the world-defying god fire, and the process of refining pills will be twice as easy. All of you better enter the world-defying stage first. This way, it will be easier for you to cultivate the world-defying god fire, Chun Xiang said. Amen. Feng Yujie nodded. I will refine some for you guys. Chun Xiang planned to stay here for a few days to refine heaven and earth infinite Dan for these girls. If Chun Xiang had only used the first stage of the time loss power, he would have been able to easily recover. In a few days' time, it would have been a few months, and the pills he had refined would be enough for all the girls in the courtyard to eat. A few days later, when Chun Xiang finished refining the pill, he would give it to Feng Yujie and let her distribute it to the others. Then, he would ask her to find Lu Menger and the others and quickly cultivate inside the Time Great Formation. Chun Xiang was concocting pills in the Pill Academy when Yuer suddenly ran over. Chun Xiang, Ku'er is with Xianxia and the others. She told me to come over and tell you that if you want to look for a myriad Tao treasure, you should go over there to look for her. Yuer said, Ku'er is really amazing, especially when it comes to setting up seals. Xianxia and Menger are extremely impressed. Hee, let her stay there for now. You can play with her for the past few days. How does she feel about this place? Chun Xiang laughed. She seems to like it here. Yuer laughed. She should be able to keep him. That's good. I have to get busy. Chun Xiang was currently training his world-defying god fire, and he was thinking of a way to make his world-defying god fire stronger. Chun Xiang had the cultivation method of world-defying god fire in his hands. He studied it carefully, then released the power of time, telling himself to hurry up and cultivate the world-defying god fire. Cultivating world-defying god fire wasn't difficult. It was mainly because his body's strength had already reached the requirements. World-defying god fire have a total of 4 stages. The first stage is the initial stage of divine flame, where the divine flame is formless and colorless. and the second stage is at the initial stage. The divine flame has a certain color to it, so you can see that the intensity of the flames will also increase by a lot. The third stage is mastery. The color of the flames becomes brighter and brighter. It requires mastery of the body to cultivate it. As for the final, major completion of the divine flames, you'll need to possess a primordial divine body. It seems as though the Deofather's world-defying god fire is only at the initial stage. The world-defying god fire Xianxia had seen before was not particularly beautiful, only had a faint glow. He followed the world-defying god fire's mental cultivation method and cultivated for a whole 3 years before his flames turned a faint golden color. I finally succeeded. He came out of time and space, and more than a month had passed outside. Let's try refining the Tianyuan holy body Dan first. Then go find the myriad Tao's treasure. Xianxia felt that he still had time, but he needed to understand more about the Gushi Tian sect. He used the 6 realms time and space door to come to the surface of the ocean and establish contact with Luo Tianjun. Luo Tianjun told him that in another month, the myriad Tao divine mountain would send people to the everlasting school. At that time, he would also be going with them. Luo Tianjun had a better understanding of the matters regarding the myriad Tao's treasure. The myriad Tao's treasure was located inside a large stone, and it was very difficult to break through the stone. That was why he got the myriad Tao divine mountain's help. That stone was first discovered by the Empyrean Gate, but it did not belong to the Empyrean's Gate. How did the arrogant Heaven Gate know the location of the stone's fall? They must have taken the stone back the first thing, right? Xianxia asked. Yes, I heard that some guy from above the myriad Tao's got them down from above. In short, this is not for the arrogant Heaven's Gate. Otherwise the arrogant Heaven's Gate would not be able to be opened. Luo Tianjun said, I don't know who it is, but myriad Tao divine mountain has also received the news. It's just that it's a little slower than the arrogant Heavenly Gate. Xianxia was extremely curious about this previously, and even he himself couldn't explain it clearly. But now, it seemed that the myriad Tao divine mountain and the everlasting stone were both related to people above the myriad Tao. There's still a month's time. Let's go there then. Thought at this time his world-defying god fires were already at the small success stage and he could already try refining them. He was already somewhat impatient. He returned to the Dan God mysterious land and took out the ingredients like last time and started refining. From the beginning, he had used a light gold world-defying god fire. The speed at which it was being refined was so fast that it made him click his tongue. Previously, he had used a full 2 days to refine it, but now it was actually completed in just 4 hours. From what I saw last time, I'll turn into charcoal now. If it doesn't change, then that means I've already succeeded. Xianxia patiently waited to observe the situation inside the pill furnace. After a while, there were no changes to the spirit energy or crystal core inside the pill furnace, which made Xianxia feel relieved. Looks like I've succeeded. After Xianxia heaved a sigh of relief, he began the next stage. Although the stage was already over, he did not know what difficulties he would face next. Begin fusing these things. After fusing everything, Xianxia had already used an entire day's time, and the next thing he needed to do was to use the derivation method to allow that lump of medicine crystal to give birth to a small one. The process of derivation was very long and caused him to be a little surprised. Took him 3 days to get in. At this moment, there was already a large amount of medicinal crystals and a small one in the furnace. He had then derived another 7 and it had taken him over 20 days. It's time to start clashing. It would be the hardest thing for him to use the derived crystals. When he was about to collide with the world-defying Holy Dan, his forehead was covered in sweat. This was a world-defying Holy Dan. The power released could be imagined. He started to worry about the Tianchuang furnace. Let's give it a try. This was the first time Xianxia didn't have confidence. Bang. Although it was just a muffled sound, the entire Dan God mysterious land was shaken by the sound, and even 100 Flowers village was shaken. Tianchuang furnace. You have to hold on. Xianxia already saw that the Tianchuang furnace was showing signs of cracks, so he anxiously took out the 6 realms mirrors and released the array inside to restrain the increasing power. The The 6 realms mirrors could not even suppress it. What's going on? Feng Kur suddenly flew over. Xiao Kur, you came at the right time. The energy in my furnace is going to explode. Help me suppress it. Chun Xiang anxiously shouted. All right. After Feng Kur finished speaking, he flew around the Tianchuang furnace that was constantly swaying, and at this moment the Tianchuang furnace had also stabilized. Although there were a few cracks on it, under Feng Kur's suppression, the energy inside couldn't escape. That was close. I almost failed. Chun Xiang suddenly felt that the world-defying Holy Dan could only be refined within the world-defying stage's Holy Ranked. If there wasn't a pill furnace, he wouldn't be able to refine it now. If he currently had the power of a world-defying stage saint, he felt that even using magic method furnace wouldn't be a problem. With Feng Kur's help, Chun Xiang's following actions were much more relaxed, because he did not need to worry about that ball of energy erupting again. Furthermore, the suppressive power that Feng Kur released could also gradually shrink the lump of medicinal crystal within the Tianchuang furnace. Xiao Kur, how are you doing inside? Chun Xiang asked. I'm very happy. There are many beautiful sisters in there. They are all very good to me, and they all like me very much. Feng Kur smiled sweetly. I like them a lot too. Then stay inside from now on. Chun Xiang said. They have a strong enemy to face right now. You are so strong, you should help them. Of course, there's no problem with that. All right then. From now on, this is my home. Feng Kur was very happy and he stuck out his tongue at Chun Xiang. What kind of pill are you refining? World-defying Holy Dan. It can help me cultivate the world-defying holy body. Chun Xiang sighed. My Tianchuang furnace were very powerful in the past, but I'm getting stronger and stronger, and the pills I concoct are getting stronger and stronger. In addition, my alchemy skills are a bit violent, so that's why it's like this. Feng Kur's sealing power could help Chun Xiang increase his speed to compress the medicine crystal. If not, while he was compressing it, the medicine crystal would have to continuously expand and explode. He would have to use even more strength to suppress it. Little girl, it would be best if you could help me refine pills. It's way too easy. Chun Xiang laughed. But when he saw the cracks on the Tianchuang furnace, he could not smile anymore. His Tianchuang furnace was severely injured, and if he was unable to repair it, he would not have a good pill furnace to replace it. It would be rather difficult for him to refine a Tianyuan Holy Body Dan now, so he would need a good pill furnace to help him. Feng Kur, do you think Xianxia and the others can refine powerful world-defying artifact now? Chun Xiang asked. Not for the time being, unless they are all from the world-defying stage. Feng Kur had also seen the cracks on top of Chun Xiang's pill furnace. She was extremely sensitive to divine items, and could even see that the array formation inside the furnace had been damaged severely. Your pill furnace is severely damaged. Even if you want to repair it, it will take a very long time. Feng Kur said. However, if you are able to obtain the myriad Tao's treasure, you will be able to quickly repair it. At that time, I will help you out again, and you will be able to get a myriad Tao's divine artifact. And since I have already refined this pill, I should be heading towards world-defying stage heavenly sect soon. The people from Myriad Tao Divine Mountain are preparing to go to world-defying stage heavenly sect. I am a little worried that they will work together and break this big stone. When Chun Xiang thought about this, he became worried. If he could not obtain the myriad Tao's treasure, then it would be difficult for his Tianchuang furnace to recover. Previously, he had planned to immediately turn his own Tianchuang furnace into a myriad Tao's divine tool after obtaining the treasure. You don't have to worry about that. I have confidence in the seal of that large stone. Even with the world-defying stage's divine realm, I won't be able to break it in a short amount of time. Feng Kur saw through Chun Xiang's worry, patted Chun Xiang's shoulders and laughed. I promised you, I will help you get the myriad Tao's treasure, and I will definitely do it. Don't worry. Chun Xiang nodded. Amen. I believe you. She was sure that if she did not appear, Chun Xiang's current strength would not have been able to keep up. That ball of energy was simply too terrifying, and she could not imagine that Chun Xiang had refined this ball of energy using medicinal ingredients. Feng Kur had seen a lot of high-quality medicinal ingredients, even the proud and powerful medicine, but the energy contained in the medicine was only SOSO. But right now, Xianxia was only refining a world-defying holy Dan, so the fact that he was able to refine such a high-quality medicine made her exclaim in shock. Looks like it will be done soon. This pill's quality is very high. Feng Kuo didn't know a thing about pill refining, but he knew how terrifying Alchemist was. Have you ever eaten a pill before? Xianxia asked. No, I was still inside that seal. I rarely came out, so I've seen it before. Feng Kuo watched as the large mass of medicine crystal was gradually suppressed, while in his heart, he was also looking forward to the moment the condensing of the pellet was completed. There are many people above Myriad Tau. Xianxia was rather curious about the higher-ups. Not much, only a little more than 1,000 people. There are not many people that we interact with. However, the ones who fight and kill frequently in the higher-ups are just a bunch of bored and indestructible guys who are causing trouble. Feng Kuo replied, There are pill refiners up there too. I've only heard of them. I've never seen them before. Then do you recognize this guy? Xianxia used his divine power to form a portrait of an old man, which was the half-ghost old man inside the secret inheritance array. I don't know him. Feng Kuo looked around and shook his head. There aren't many people up there, but I've seen even fewer. What about this? Xianxia then released the illusion of the Myriad Tau Dan God. I've seen this before. He's an incredible apothecary. Feng Kuo anxiously said. After the Myriad Tau Dan God arrived at the top, he had indeed made a name for himself. He has a few formidable enemies up there, so he often hides himself. Although he has quite a few friends, he has never bothered his friends. Feng Kuo said, He's a very good person. Why did he offend some powerful enemies? Xianxia was very interested in this matter. There weren't many people on Myriad Tau, but Myriad Tau Dan God had provoked quite a few, and they were all very powerful. The main thing is that someone wanted to find him to concoct pills. He wasn't willing, and so he was chosen by those people. When there was a conflict, he ended up with a grudge. Feng Kuo curled his lips. There aren't many alchemists above, so he's made many friends up there. Those guys coming to cause trouble for him can be considered to be a weirdo. While Xianxia and Feng Kuo were chatting, time flew by very quickly. However, with Feng Kuo's help to condense the pellet, Xianxia succeeded very quickly, and only used an hour to do so. Alright, this pill's quality is very high. The first thing Feng Kuo did was to take out that pellet. Although it was a small pellet, the energy it contained made Feng Kuo exclaim repeatedly in her heart. She did not expect Xianxia, who had just stepped into the world-defying stage, to refine such a high-quality pellet. Of course, I was concocted using a combination of two extremely powerful pill techniques. I am just too weak now. If my cultivation was a bit higher, the quality of the pill I refined would have been even higher. Xianxia said, I'll take a look at it now and see how much it will help me. It was Xianxia's first time consuming this kind of pellet, and in his opinion, the pellet was most likely consumed when he was still at the peak of the primordial profound realm. But right now he was only at the early stage, so he didn't know if it would be of any help to him either. After eating it, Xianxia immediately used the power of the time laws because he would need a lot of time to refine it. Originally, he thought that the world-defying Holy Dan would need a long time to refine it, but he did not expect that the refining speed would be so fast. This caused his heart to involuntarily feel cold. Don't tell me it's useless against me. Xianxia was very worried. He estimated that it would take at least a month to refine, but he was still within the power of the time laws. He could refine it in just 3 days' time. After completely refining the pellet, his previous worry was unnecessary because he already felt the benefits from the strong medicinal power. Originally, it was only the initial stage of the profound body, but now, with just one pellet, it actually reached the peak of the profound body. If he did not experience this change personally, he would not have believed it to be real even if he had beaten himself to death. Half-ghost old man is truly amazing. To think that the medicinal formula given would actually be so useful. It seems like this pill is extremely useful for proud profound bodies. I had thought that it could only be eaten after the arrogant world's profound body has reached the pinnacle. From here, the first thing he did was to look at the genuine content. After sensing the benefits of the Tianyuan Holy Body Dan, Xianxia could not wait to refine more. However, it would take a long time to grow the ingredients. Moreover, refining it was rather difficult. Right now, he was unable to continue refining it, because his Tianchuang furnace was broken. He broke through so quickly. After Feng Kuo came out of seclusion, he was surprised as well. Xianxia had only been in there for a short while. Yes, I was surprised too. Let's go to the Empyrean Gate now. Xianxia laughed. He wanted to quickly repair his own Tianchuang furnace, so he could continue refining the Tianyuan Holy Body Dan as soon as possible. This way, he would be able to step into the world-defying sacred stage soon. His strength would greatly increase. All right, now, take out the 6 realms mirrors. Feng Kuo also wanted to help Xianxia quickly, because she knew that Xianxia was very worried that the arrogant heavenly door and the myriad Tao divine mountain would break apart that huge boulder. After Xianxia took out the 6 realms mirrors, Feng Kuo immediately entered. After that, Xianxia brought her to the gates of the world. He teleported a few times. He then arrived at the entrance of the Gu Shi Tian, even though they were separated by a thick layer of clouds. However, Xianxia could still feel the arrogant and mighty aura of the gates of heaven from the thick clouds that continuously pressed down on him. Looks like there are quite a few experts gathered there. Xianxia frowned as he looked at the thick clouds in the sky. Her eyes were filled with worry. Don't worry, they won't succeed. Feng Kuo did not run out from the 6 realms mirrors. Once she comes out, it was possible that someone from the Everlasting Stone or the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain would find her. Then he would run over as fast as he had run last time. Xianxia took out the message Jade Talisman. He tried to send a sound transmission to Luo Tianjun. Tao Father, I came to the entrance of the Gu Shi Tian. Are you there yet? Xianxia asked. 3 days. I saw the myriad Tao's most precious treasure. It was sealed inside a rock. These 3 days, the myriad Tao divine mountain and the proud heaven stage of the world-defying stage attacked this rock together. But none of them succeeded. This myriad Tao treasure was extremely sturdy. It's hard to destroy. Luo Tianjun immediately told Xianxia about the situation. Xianxia was a lot more at ease. Then, he would tell this matter to Feng Kuo. I guess I was right. Feng Kuo laughed. If there is any movement from that rock, I will feel it at once. The seal above is connected to me. How could I not know? That's good. Then this is what we're going to do next. Xianxia asked. I'll try. Could he wake up the formation inside that rock? If he woke up, I can control that stone and leave the gates of heavens in a moment's time. Or perhaps the stone left the gates of heaven. Feng Kuo did not leave the 6 realms mirrors this time. No matter what, it could still conceal her aura. It was not like the last time, where the original ancestor of the arrogant heaven had come over. It's begun. Feng Kuo shouted from inside the 6 realms mirrors. Yes. If anything happens, just let me know. Xianxia patiently waited. He waited for 6 hours. Only then did she hear Feng Kuo anxiously shout out. I lost control. What's going on? Xianxia suddenly became spirited. Update first time. That stone has already left the gates of heavens in a proud world. I activated the formation inside, but the spell was damaged. That I can't control this rock directly. Feng Kuo said anxiously. Right now, this stone has messed up and ran away by itself. He didn't know where he would run to. Fortunately, I can sense the direction of the rock. What direction? Xianxia asked anxiously. Just after he finished asking, his message talisman began to tremble. Luo Tianjun sent a message to him. That rock ran away. We're chasing the rock right now. Look at the sky. Xianxia looked up. As expected, he saw many figures quickly flying out. But he had not seen the stone before. Could only be said that the stone was simply too fast. Prevented him from seeing it. Chase after him. Feng Kuo shouted. After Xianxia used counter-power stealth, he used the spatial energy to teleport. Just a few tricks. He saw the rock. The stone was quite big. It was as tall as a person. Outside the rock was a messy red-colored iron chain. The chain was red. It was as if he had been burnt red. Xianxia looked carefully. He noticed that there were very tiny lines on the chains. All of them were spirit grayness. Got it. Xianxia had just wanted to keep this stone inside his 6 realms mirrors. However, he didn't expect the rock to suddenly disappear with a teleport. Motherfucker. This rock actually knew how to teleport. Update: as soon as possible, Xianxia moved according to the weak spatial ripples. He also teleported in pursuit. And the experts behind him, the 2 elders of the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain, knew how to use the power of space. They had sensed that something was wrong just now. Because other than the rock, he was teleporting. Others were also teleporting to catch up. Not long later, Xianxia arrived outside the Myriad Tao Mausoleum. Stone has entered the Myriad Tao Mausoleum. Xianxia never thought of that. That stone seemed to have a spirit of its own as it ran into the Myriad Tao Mausoleum. Update: first time. Could someone have left some sort of consciousness in the rock? Did you get stone to come here? Xianxia told Feng Kuo about his astonishing discovery. Then he teleported back to Myriad Tao Mausoleum. There is such a possibility. I don't know why the stone was brought down. Feng Kuo said. It might be one of the fellows on top who wants to give this stone to. Xianxia had already entered the Myriad Tao Mausoleum. A furnace chased after the rock. After passing through the Deadland, Xianxia was certain. The ultimate destination of this stone was the world-defying stage Divine Mausoleum. World-defying stage Divine Mausoleum had already closed. It was very difficult to get in. When Xianxia arrived at the entrance of the world-defying stage Divine Mausoleum, the stone stopped. We probably won't be able to get in. Xianxia snickered. Just as he finished, the rock fiercely smashed into the small house at the entrance of world-defying stage Divine Mausoleum. He directly knocked the small house away. Before, many powerful world-defying stage had joined hands to attack the small stone hut. However, they could not leave any traces on it. However, this rock only lightly bumped into it. He then pushed the small stone house flat. Then, he followed the formation on the small stone house. He entered the world-defying stage Divine Mausoleum. It's really strange. Xianxia sensed a strong qi approaching from behind him. He had no choice but to enter the world-defying stage Divine Mausoleum. The entrance to the world-defying stage Divine Mausoleum was destroyed. He did not know what kind of changes the world-defying stage Divine Mausoleum would undergo either. But now he couldn't afford to think about it too much. He could only choose to enter. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to get this stone. Xianxia chased right after him. To his surprise, he was very familiar with the roads he walked. At this moment, he was in the wild bloodland. This was the location of the Heavenly Cauldron Piltomb from before. Could it be that the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain was the one who guided the stone down? Xianxia was shocked. If not, this rock will not come here. Xianxia told Feng Kuo his guess. That's a possibility. But didn't you already take the Dan God Mysterious Land? The stone came here. It's definitely impossible to find the Dan God Mysterious Land. Feng Kuo said.